deserved. What's going on YouTube? My name is Mr. Crippled, and today I'm going to be bringing you my Nuwa guide. Now, before I get into the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you'd like to keep up with any future content, I will be leaving a link to both my Discord and my Twitch in the description below. Now, Nuwa has saw some minor changes, but those minor changes has overall helped her out more as a character. And I will be going over those here in a moment. As usual, I want to go ahead and go over her passive first. Her passive was changed from Smite 1. In Smite 1, it used to be after every 5 autos, her next auto attack would root. Now it's on a cooldown, and now it's after every 15 seconds, it will root all targets hit by your basic attack, and damaging an enemy with the basic attack reduces the cooldowns of this by 1 second. This is really nice for her to have because, as I'll go over later in the video, her autos will become an AoE after performing her 3. So if you use this properly, you can get a team-wide route, which will help set up her next stun if you have the right amount of CPR. Now I want to go ahead and go over her abilities in order. Usually I like to go over an order of importance, but every single ability for her is extremely important to her kit. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and go over her 1. This is an AoE that travels in a direct line forward. This is very integral to her kit because this gives her teammates stealth, and it gives herself not only stealth, but it also gives you strength of water, which gives you movement speed. Your allies also do gain movement speed while they're standing within the fog. So this is a really great tool for her tanks to engage, or for you to even engage to kind of set yourself up. Up next, I want to talk about her 2 clay soldiers. Now, these little minions, these little dickheads are very important to her kit. Basically, she'll summon a group of minions, and I do believe they changed it. Now she just gets 3 minions. They'll dash at the nearest enemy and deal magical damage. And while they're out, you actually gain strength of earth, which gives you magical penetration, which is very important to set up her 3. These can be used as like a mini shield, or to help you clear the wave to kind of make it more annoying for the enemy gods to clear. And they're very, very tanky. They're a lot tankier than you give them credit for. Also, if you use these, if you use this ability and it's not immediately targeted on an enemy god, it will go to the first enemy, which could be an enemy minion, or the first enemy god that hits her. Finally, I want to talk about her 3 out of her basic abilities. This is just a line attack. This comes with a lot, however. First being that if you use this ability on a clay soldier, it'll actually explode, causing damage in an AoE and stunning enemies, which is very important for her kit as being kind of like a CC monster in team fights. The other important thing is that after casting your 3, your basic attacks become AoEs dealing magical damage, which will pair very well with her passive Strength of Wood. And then now I want to talk about her ultimate, the most annoying ultimate in the game. You become CC immune, you go into the air, and you deal damage to the entire enemy team. And it does a pretty decent chunk of damage. That they didn't really want this ability to be as hard-hitting as like an Anubis ult or a Zeus ult. But they did want this ability to be a kill confirm. And what they changed about this ability is that now it gives her a buff. After casting your ultimate, your basic attacks go farther and they go faster. So she basically gets increased range on her autos, and she gets basically increased projectile speed, which isn't amazing, but it can help her in situations where she needs to keep her distance and she needs to use her ult in a panic. So this does help. I don't think it's substantial, but it does give her a little bit more towards being an auto attacker. Now, up next, I want to go ahead and talk about her best build. Now, you can troll and do an auto attack build, which I'll show you here in a moment. But her primary build is going to be mostly ability based, because you want to have your cooldowns. You want to have your cooldowns as soon as possible. So for me personally, I actually like going Conduit Gem on her. Stanza Time is really nice to help her get early game cooldowns, but the damage you get using Archmage's Gem and Conduit Gem is gonna more than make up for the fact that you don't have as much CDR. After that, it's typical mage build. You want to build after that directly into Book of Thoth. That way you gain the pen late game. You get a bunch of mana, basically giving her a lot of utility sustain. After this, I like going Chronos Pendant and then Spear of Desolation. That way you just get 30 cooldown rate out, basically 30 cooldown rate out the gate, and you gain penetration. That way it's a lot easier for you to spam your invis and your 3, making you a lot more threatening in team fights. After that, I like building Rada Tahuti. Rada Tahuti is just really strong right now, and it pairs really well with Book of Thoth. That way you can gain more intelligence from just building this item. Plus, it does give 10% pen and gives you 250 mana, so this is also really nice. The last 2 cards that I like building on her is kind of up in the air. If you really just want a whopping amount of pen, you can go Totem of Death here, since you're going to be spamming a lot. Obsidian Shard also works really well here. I also think it's really good to have Soul Reaver on this point as well, just so you can nuke down the tanks a little bit easier. Since this card does deal direct health damage. And then last but not least, if you want to be an alt bot, you can build the World Stone. It does give mana, it does give cooldown, and it does give a pretty healthy amount of intelligence, and it pairs well with Book of Thoth. Or you can go Dreamer's Idol if you want to become a better nuke. I'm starting to realize that having at least one active item is really strong on any of the mages. And this gives you a lot of power, so you can pop this and just pop your ultimate just to get vision on the enemy team and get a good amount of damage before a team fight even happens. If you want a little bit of sustained, Bloodbound Book is also really nice. Not for the fact that it gives lifesteal, but mostly because you can just pop this and gain a pretty healthy HP shield to stop yourself from instantly dying from people diving you. But again, since you do like a little bit of mobility, this is kind of a niche item. It's better to just kill the person who's running at you. So for my last slot, I usually go any of these last 3 items. And that's going to be it for my new wall guide. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section below. And I appreciate everybody who made it this far in the video. Thank you for your time, and y'all have a nice rest of your day.